Hey everybody, it's Professor Malat. Introductions and new beginnings can sometimes be a bit awkward. And I hope that we didn't get off to too much of a rocky start. I know I kind of bombarded you with a bunch of videos and a lot of information, and it can be a lot to take in, especially in these first few days, and especially if this is your very first college class. I know that some of you have some experience in college, either you were at another campus or you're in your second or third year, and you just haven't gotten around to English Comp. So that being said, I just want to wrap up a few things for the week. This was week 1, and it was mainly an introduction to the course, and we introduced ourselves to each other in the discussion board. I encourage you, if you are reading through your classmates' introduction posts, and you have something in common, why not reach out? That's how we build community, especially in a course like this where we're not meeting on camera and we're not meeting face-to-face. It's important to still build some sense of community because we are going to be working together and collaborating and bouncing off ideas off one another. So I encourage you to reach out if you feel like you have something in common with a classmate. So we did introductory course materials, we've introduced one another, and one of your first writing projects is a journal where you are exploring who you are as a writer, what your writing experiences have been, what your strengths and weaknesses might be, and that's submitted at the end of the week. And in the readings, you've done some exploration as well. You've learned how to annotate or take notes on your reading, and you have learned a little bit about how academic writing is different than the writing that you do every day, right? Because, hey, let's face it, we're in the electronic generation, right? We text and Skype, and well, Skype isn't really typing, but we text one another, we post to social media, even video stuff, right? You know, TikToks and Snapchats and that kind of thing, Instagram, those are all a different kind of text. And as we get further into the course, we're going to explore this topic that's called multimodality. Keep that word in your brains, multimodality. I'm not going to define it for you right now, but I want you to think about it. And if you want to go and look it up, and you know, if that piques your interest, then that gives you a sneak peek into what's in store. So that's just wrapping up what we've done for this week. I do want to share my screen because I have posted a new document for you. I said I was going to work on it, and I posted it to Canvas. I didn't send out an announcement because I figured I'd save that announcement for this video, which will be short, I promise you. This is the end of the week video. So if you click on important course information and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a PDF document for the course schedule. And I'm going to open that up here for you. Let's do full screen mode. Now, mind you, this is a tentative schedule of our classes. So you can read through this. And we have a rough rhythm of our week. So you might see as you look into other modules that I'm trying to set it up so that Wednesday you have a discussion board post that's due. Friday you may have a journal assignment or one of the scaffolded writing assignments, and then Sunday, of course, is the final due date for your reading and annotations. However, if it's marked somewhere either on Canvas or in this schedule that one of these types of assignments is due on a different date, please go by that date. And please, 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 even though this gives you an idea of what you're going to do, it's kind of a broad overview of the semester. And I think most of the due dates for the big assignments are going to be the ones, you know, I will stick with that due date. However, always go by what I post weekly on Canvas that is definitely what we're going with. You know, you may say, well, you know, Professor Malott, you said such and such was going to be due on you know, September 19th, and now the due date has changed. Well, sometimes things change because the needs of the class or the demands of the class changes. So we will always go by what I put on Canvas for the week. This is not set in stone. This is a flexible document, but I wanted to provide a document for you just so you have an idea of what you're getting into and what's expected of you. So we're going to take 4 weeks to do this first paper, this rhetorical analysis paper. So look for information next week that will introduce you to, it's called Text in Action, but it's really a rhetorical analysis essay. And you'll have some scaffolded assignments that are due. You will have some journal assignments, rough drafts, and that kind of thing. So that will take 4 weeks. That will take us through the middle of September. Then we will start on our research argument, which is a much longer unit and a much longer paper. So I figure you need extra time to do this longer paper. So we will take 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 6 weeks to do the various assignments that are related to that. And then we are going to wrap things up with what's called recasting. And this assignment is actually, we're taking 3 weeks to do because it's jumping off of the research assignment that you've done. So what recasting is, you're going to take the research material that you did for your research argument essay, and you're going to spin it and recast it so that we can put it out there for a public audience. It's not going to be super duper academic stuff. And we're going to talk about multimodality. There's that word again. And, you know, thinking how we can broaden our horizons with the things that we write and things that we say. So that will only take 3 weeks, and then we'll wrap things up with a very short reflection unit. Notice here, I did talk about in one of my videos how to deal with Thanksgiving weekend. I'm not making anything due over Thanksgiving weekend. Instead, your final project will be due the Wednesday before we go on break for Thanksgiving. So that way you don't have to worry about anything over the weekend. We just have this thing done. And then you can think about this final reflection essay, which is just kind of a self-assessment thing. So that's that document. Again, look for it in the important course information module. All right, so look for a new video either on Sunday or Monday, and that will introduce you to our week 2 module. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.